Okay, so we are back and we're going to be talking with Donna and Carlos, but this time we're going to be talking about EQ2 Share. So do you guys want to tell us what exactly is EQ2 Share?
EQ2 Share is a way for you to be able to share your accomplishments in-game to Twitter and Facebook. We've actually had quite a few people work together. So it's been dev, it's been art, it's been platform, it's been the web development, all of it, including, all the Facebook development to be able to get this online.
Do you have more to add?
Um, on our end, I mean, it's basically been, we wanted to kind of identify what players would want to brag about on Facebook, Twitter, whatever they wanted, wherever the messages go. But on our end, it was more of just identifying which ones we wanted to go, and we didn't want to spam people either. So we didn't want to make sure every achievement in the game went out there. So it was a little bit of a balancing act, but I think we got it.
And how do players set up EQ2 Share?
So what you'll do when you go into the game, and you'll get to the persona page, and then you'll see options. There'll be little boxes, and so when you check them, it'll ask you to log into Facebook. You'll go through the approval process, and then you go right back in the game. Same thing with Twitter. So you don't need to spend a lot of time on Facebook setting it up. It'll all happen within the game client itself.
One other thing to note is once you've set it up once, you don't have to set it up again for other characters.
Yeah, that is a good question. Is it going to broadcast all of your characters, or?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, very cool. All right, and what kind of information actually gets sent to Twitter and Facebook?
Well, I saw some stuff yesterday. I saw some trade skill stuff. So it was like a level 90 trade skill and some other achievements.
I think most of the stuff that is broadcast would be achievements. There's certain ones that you would hit when you hit certain thresholds, such as getting level 20. It's going to announce it, and it'll also have a little blurb there that says, hey, Freeport and Kinos are looking for help. We tried to put in little helpful hints along with them so that when they go out there, not only will it be, hey, you've achieved this, but it'll also be like, hey, this is also what you've unlocked and what you can actually obtain at this level.
The nice thing, if you want to know more about how it's set up and what it looks like, is that once we have the new website up, is that when you go to the player site, you'll see a whole thing on EQ2 Share, and it'll walk you through the process in case you get a little confused.
Okay, cool. And do players have the option to turn it off if they want to?
Yes. All you do is you go back to your persona, and then you uncheck the box, and then it won't broadcast anymore unless you want to turn it back on again, and you do it the same way. Check the box, bam, you're good.
Okay, cool. And where can players read more information about EQ2 Share, setting it up, and all that fun stuff?
Like I said, it'll be in the players. So if you go to when you go to the new website and then you go to the player site, there will be in the community drop down, it'll say EQ2 Share. And we've got screenshots about how it's all going to work. And so there's also the in-game commands, like I think it's /Twitter. So yeah, they're on the website. We were up a little early this morning for this.
/Twitter /Facebook /FB /share there's a lot of
Yeah, there's a bunch of different commands, and we've all got them on the website, thank goodness. And I'll probably post some more stuff on Facebook itself to kind of talk about the process too.
Okay, cool. And actually, it seems like I may have forgotten to get the winners drawn. So earlier we had to talk about Beast Lords and Mercenaries. So we took some player questions, and we're going to draw for some awesome EQ2 swag here. So
First up, we have an EverQuest 2 journal. And so we're going to give that to somebody who asked a Mercenaries question.
okay. So
Big money, no whammies.
the other one, other side.
There we go. Duck Force. So Duck Force will contact you, or how are we going to do that? They'll contact.
say that like Duck Force.
Duck Force, 'cause that's the way you do it. So you'll get this nice little bound journal.
Okay, and the next set is for the questions about Mercenaries, or I'm sorry, Beast Lords.
And we're giving away this fancy little EverQuest Beast Lord Zippo lighter.
Okay.
So
McGlide. Artemic Clyde. So you're the one who's going to get the lighter out of that.
Okay, awesome. All right, so next we're going to actually move on to talk about the Freeport quests. Oh, actually, looks like we have a couple questions. So we'll take those first, and then we're going to talk about Freeport quests.
I'll make a mention about the promotions too.
Okay. Relarius asks, can you post videos?
Not at this time. Can you? Hey, so we got Dave here.
We've had YouTube support in for months. Been in for like 5 months. So you can do that right now inside the game.
And that's going to post to Facebook and Twitter?
You can post videos to YouTube. You can't post videos to Facebook.
Okay.
We will allow you to post screenshots soon, but not yet.
Okay, so if you didn't hear that, is that yes, you can post to YouTube. It's been in the game for a while. I haven't used the tools myself. And that they're looking at being able to post screenshots in the future. So EverQuest 2 is the first game that we're going to be launching this process. So we definitely want you to use it and give your feedback on it.
Okay, and second question from Bipolarized Berserker. Will there be any rewards? Will there be any rewards or perks for using this system?
Yes, the warm glow of accomplishment. It'll be nice. It'll get your friends and family excited about playing EverQuest 2 with you. There's so many wonderful changes that are coming up. So it's going to be really nice. I've done this with other games, and you always have people asking questions. How did you do that? How did you do that? So it sets up. Oh, Dave's going to come interrupt here. Stick your head over here.
There's a minor perk, which is when you post your achievements to Facebook, a lot of times they're going to give you hints on what you can go do next. So like, for instance, if you dinged 30 and it posted up a level announcement that said, you're cool and you dinged 30, it would tell you, and now you're available for leap requests. Or at a certain level, it might say, oh yeah, and now now you can start your epic armor quest or something like that. We're kind of using it to reveal things that are typically fairly well hidden inside the game, so that players can not only find out about it themselves, but then anybody that's reading their posts can also find out about it, and kind of gets the word out on the features that have been successfully hidden from view.
Well, that's pretty nice because nobody else does that.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole hinting system is going to be a really great thing.
Mm-hmm. All right, it looks like we have one more question. Celestia asks, can we limit how much is posted?
I believe this time it's going to either be on or off.
Yeah, we're self-limiting. We're not putting a lot of achievements out there because we don't like spam any more than anybody else does. So we're limiting the number of posts, so it really won't be very frequent. But the posts that go up will have some meaning. So they're like big raid bosses, completing certain heritage quests, dinging 90, getting onto a Hall of Fame with a house, stuff like that, major accomplishments.
So like if you're doing the boss kit, it'll be the first time you get it.
Yeah.
So it'd be the first time, so it won't be every time you go in.
Right.
You're
Same
not
with
going to be
achievements.
smooth. Yeah, with achievements. So it'll be the first time you've done it, bingo. Before I hand this over real quick, I wanted to mention, if you don't already follow the Sony Online Facebook page, we do a lot of giveaways. And like yesterday, we gave away a bunch of station cash, and we've got some more surprises. We've given away headsets. We've got other partner things coming up, which I'm not going to talk about yet. But we have lots of stuff there. So make sure you're following EverQuest 2 Facebook and the Sony Online Facebook for the giveaways. Mm-hmm. That's my plug for social media.
Okay, thank you guys for your time. We're actually going to switch over to talk about Freeport quests. So give us a moment while we wrangle up some devs and get them involved.
Yeehaw. Thank you.
Bam!
Oh, here are the winners. There you go. Okay, so we'll be talking about the Game Update 62. That's about Freeport Reborn. And so we'll go into all the different quests that are going to be there, any questions that you may have about them. And the devs will be here to help give us some more information.
Here you go.
Thank you. Okay, so how about you guys each introduce yourselves and tell the players a bit about what you guys do.
I'm Jason Warner, Fireflight on the forums, and do all kinds of stuff. This most recent game update, I've been working on the Freeport Reborn, kind of the storyline quests that lead players through that, and helping out with various updates related to that.
Hi, I'm Nathan McCall, K-Thiel on the boards, and a lot of quests and overland content as well as live events.
Cool. All right. Thank you guys very much. We're glad to have you. So some of the questions that we have are class quests and racial quests still found in Freeport? And if so, where can those be found?
You had fun making that one quest that pointed everyone, or that one NPC.
Oh, okay. So yes, that's true. Actually, right near the bells in Freeport, there are a couple of NPCs there that will help point people. We because the quests are a little bit scattered around, we wanted to try and get one unified pointer in there. And so there's a Rotonga and an Erudite, I believe, right near the bells that will point people out to where they need to be going to find a lot of these new quests. Specifically, they're kind of all over the place. So but those NPCs will help.
Yeah, as Jason was saying, because they're just all over the place, yes, we still have all of the we have new racial quests. I shouldn't say the racial quests. We have new racial quests, and they are in Freeport Combined. And we also have new class archetype quests. And so those are all very race-specific, very class-specific. So when you go in there as one character, and then you go back through as a different character, you're going to have a different experience. So we wanted this one NPC to be able, that you could go to and be like, wait, who do I go to now? What level range am I going to now? What? Yeah, so this guy is going to guide you there. Jason did a great job with that.
Okay, thanks. So are some of the older quests still in Freeport, and about how many do you think? Like, can you give us a percentage?
I don't know. There were maybe like 30-40% that we were able to save, or...
Yeah, boy, I don't remember. I know that the initial number of quests that were in Freeport were over 200. And most of those were just little delivery quests that were just like, go talk to that other person across the zone. Okay. So there were some of those that were removed. Some of those are not even appropriate anymore. They were either abusive to the player, or they were just asking you to do ridiculous things. Go kill 95 kobolds. I'm exaggerating, but it's just like, it was totally ridiculous things for the thing you would get, which was a little bit of coin. So we've gone through, and some of those have been edited, some of those have been completely removed. But we were able to save a great deal of them. A lot of those that you remember of having quite a bit of flavor to, they're still there. Like one specifically that we had the request to keep, and I could totally understand why, was the ones where you went back to Fallen Gate. They had a lot of flavor with the NPCs, with the dialogue, with the actual VO, and we wanted to keep as much of those kind of things as we possibly could.
And I wanted to add in also that we added a lot of quests. Like there's a ton of new stuff too. So
yeah, not just
for
the class or racial ones.
Right. So, for people worrying that we may have, like taken too much stuff out, we put a lot of stuff back in, and they're all like really cool. So, yeah.
Okay, cool. And what level ranges are those quests that you guys added?
Okay, let me see if I state this right. So we've added stuff for kind of all level ranges. The racial quests, I believe you can do at any level for your race, and then the kind of the Freeport storyline and the archetype quests, you'll find a number of those at like 20, and then again at 40, 60, and 80, and they're they kind of lead you into the next ones. And we've actually even placed pointers along the Golden Path if people are progressing through that. That'll remind you to head back to Freeport and check out all the new stuff at each level range.
At least if you're evil.
If you're evil.
Okay, thank you. And what kind of rewards can people get or expect from those kind of quests?
As far as the racial quests go, because it is scaling all the way from 1 all the way to 90 at this point, so it's kind of hard to tailor something that would be like have stats on it. So what we went with instead was scaling coin through all those quests, and then at the very end you get a ring with a special ability on it that's racial specific. For the class, or the archetype quests, I should say, those were put with armor. So armor you can get, and it does have stats, But then you can also go to the merchant so let's say you got the quest at level 60. You got a level 60 reward. Then you can go to a special merchant and then later on, if you're level 80, and get the level 80 version of that piece of armor that you just bought. There's also appearance stuff that then you can buy, so you're unlocking things as you go along. It's a pretty good a little way of making sure that no matter what level you are, you're still getting a good reward.
Yeah, all the quests scale, so we wanted to put in rewards that would be relevant to anyone. Why is Carlos waving at me? He made all of this stuff, so so yes, thank Ninja if you get the that's Gninja.
And as he was just miming to us, don't forget to mention the weapons. There's all sorts of new weapons. So there's new weapons, there's new armor, and we're not just talking stats. I mean, appearances. These things look awesome, and they fit with the new Freeport themes.
Okay, awesome. And we're going to open it up to player questions. If they have any questions for you guys about the quests that are in Freeport, so it's be awesome. Carla77 asks, will merchants have new items to buy, which you guys did sort of cover. Do you have anything else?
Go ahead.
Yeah, so they even have new house items. So you go to the house item merchant, you should have some new stuff there, as well as, like I said, those quest rewards. Yep.
Very cool. Sorry. Ben Erm asks, what happened to the epic quest that evolve Freeport?
Involve, probably. As far as I know, I didn't work on that part personally, but I think we updated all of those, right, to make sure that they're, I mean, we're trying to make sure everything's still working.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
definitely. Any old quests that went through Freeport should still be functioning in every way, including the old one where you would, I say old, but it was, I think, EXP05, where you would go into Deathnail Citadel and speak with Lucan. It is still there. It is still functioning. The door isn't where it was because it was actually a door in the side of a wall previously, but now it's a portal, and it's right under Deathnail. It's within the Overlord's plaza. Yeah, with all the Overlord statue and everything.
Okay, awesome. Neurotic Fist asks, is Freeport still segregated?
Not entirely sure what you're talking about. As far as the zone, it's a single zone now. We announced that a while ago, so I'm assuming people already know.
Like the races. One race lived over here.
Oh, are the races still segregated? To a degree. So we've still got the hoods, even though you don't go into those unless you're on a specific quest for them, and the hoods are still very much run by specific races. You'll find the Scale Yard is mostly Ixar and Sarnax, and then the Stone Stair Byway, is that the Gnomes and the Ratongas?
No, Temple Street.
Temple Street is Gnomes and Ratongas, and we've got that, and oftentimes near the hoods, the population in Freeport is somewhat indicative of what's within the hoods. I'm not sure. Have you played around as much just with the general population? Do you know if that's all segregated?
Yeah, the general population within the zone is not segregated. There is even one halfling in the city, So, we have not segregated the city, but he was never originally that way. Any of the Freeport zones, the hoods were, but never the rest of Freeport. So, no, you won't find that with the rest of Freeport. But the hoods, yeah, they still seem to be following those racial lines, and we're progressing those stories through. So you're going to see some of that, but it's not as heavy-handed.
Plus, Lucan's trying to unify everything here, so he's to some degree, yes, trying to bring all of the all of the races together to
do his bidding.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Ratugo asks, are there new titles?
Yes, there are. So with the new archetype quests, you get new titles through that. I'm not sure if there's any more through any of your storyline quests or anything, but I knew. Oh, I'm getting a nod from behind the camera. So yes, new titles.
All right, very cool. Misty Seeker asks, do the house items have an evil theme?
I wouldn't really say evil so much as they reflect New Freeport. So the design aspects that you'll see in the being used now within Freeport are exactly what you're going to find in the new house items, with the exception of one item I can think of which is very evil. And anytime you can put a froglock skull with spikes sticking out of it, I think that's pretty evil.
Okay. Cribbits asks, will Freeport be a starting city again?
I don't think so.
Not with this update.
Okay. All right.
Will Everfrost or Frostfell be visiting Freeport?
Yes.
Speaking of live events there, so Frostfell is visiting Freeport, but to a lesser degree this year than what you've seen in the past or may see in the future. We did not want players' first taste of evil Freeport to be Frostfell. So we went ahead and toned that down. You will still find the NPCs within Freeport. You will still find some decoration, but it's definitely lower key, and there is no Frostfell music this year in Freeport.
Yeah, I don't know if Lucan celebrates Frostfell. He's pretty serious.
Yeah, but
Like,
maybe it would distract the citizens for a little bit.
Well, true.
Okay. All right. Thank you guys for your time. We're going to talk about the lore and storyline with Freeport next. So, oh, it's still probably you guys. Okay. Well, that works out great. So I've got some more questions for you guys to go over that. What exactly has happened in Freeport, and why has the look there changed?
I mean, I can talk about this briefly, I guess. Jonathan would be better. Yeah, it's so as I mentioned before, Lucan's been trying to unify things. If for those of you that remember, he was recently actually kidnapped from Freeport, and he is not happy about this, obviously, and he really I mean, he doesn't want he doesn't want anyone to think he's weak, and so he's trying to come back in there and reunify the city, make sure that something like that never happens again. He's kind of turning it a little bit into like a fascist state, and he's really goodness.
No, you're right.
Well,
You've got it. So he's just taking a heavy-handed approach, heavier than what he did before, approach towards making sure that everything's reined in and that people know he is in charge. Whatever chaos happened while he was gone, no more. And those people are being dealt with on an hourly basis.
Okay. So why has the look of Freeport itself changed as a result?
Just to give more of that I'm taking care of you, this is a good place for you to be. It's not an oppressive place, or he doesn't want you to feel that it's so much of an oppressive place. We shouldn't be having the citizens live in squalor. Nobody's going to want to do that, so they're going to want to go to Kinos. Well, no, let's not do that. Let's offer them the better solution, the better choice here, which is a cleaner living environment where you feel safe. And yeah, Big Brother might be looking down on you from those towers up above, but you're safe here, and you've got a job, you've got money, you're being taken care of. So this is a good place to live, and now the environment reflects that.
There were and we changed some of the NPCs, some of their flavor as well too. Like the original Freeport was somehow evil was equated with sort of dirty and as Nathan was saying, squalor, and the NPCs mistreated you, so you had NPCs walk by and spit on you, which was no, it didn't give you a lot of pride in the city. And so the look and the way that the NPCs act towards you is supposed to kind of instill some pride. This is big evil. You're supposed to really want to have this as your home city rather than feeling sort of like you're this little guy that everyone's trying to kick around in the city, you know. So
Okay. All right, pretty cool. All right, what has happened in Freeport's hoods, such as Scale Yard and Big Bend? What can players expect from that?
So we actually at the start of this whole thing went through and tried to come up with a distinct storyline for each of the hoods. So there's a lot of really cool stuff that we have done with the hoods. Their Scale Yard, for instance, has now been actually given over mostly to the Ixar. I don't remember quite how it was previously. They were sort of like almost exiled there. They were pushed to that corner of Freeport, I believe, because nobody wanted to deal with them, and now they're actually in charge of it. And Scale Yard has become a prison, and they are the like the jailers. They sort of rule in there, and they get to imprison all of the other dissidents. And one of the quests has you sneaking through there, where you have to sneak past the guards to try and jailbreak somebody out of there. So we've got some kind of cool elements in with that. Here, did you want to talk about any of the ones that you thought were cool?
Yeah, so like as Jason was saying, each one of them have been visited, and we have made these stories or updated the stories that were being told there. So the stories, if you played a half-elf in the previous Freeport, then you will recognize the storyline and see how it evolves through following the half-elf story now. Gnomes, Rotongas, they're all covered. Temple Street is one of the biggest changes that you'll see, at least in my eyes, because before, you could go into the zone and you'd see the writing on the walls, and gnomes and Rotongas would be running all over the place. Well, now they are really up to something sneaky, and they're actually working together. Observant players, you'd have noticed that the writing on the walls literally changed from being gnomish to having just some like notations written in it. Well, that was the Rotongas actually correcting the gnomish writing. And that's always been in there. So we're playing that up. Okay, well now the Rotongas have provided something. They are organizing a little bit of this scatterbrained gnomish, or scatterbrained gnomes, I should say. And so now they're going towards something. They're building something together. And you're going in there for several different quests to investigate and see what's going on.
Okay, that's pretty cool. So are there any other notable characters you can tell us about? Who should who should players be looking for that are NPCs in the city?
So one that sort of arose out of, we did also have sort of a brainstorming session early on about who we really wanted to present as notable NPCs. And one that I found really interesting, there's an NPC that is a former ship's captain named Kane Starkson. You'll find him on the docks, and he's the level 60 quest line as you're going through there. So everyone should at some point be running through his quests. He actually started out kind of as a no-name NPC. It was interesting that we were like, oh, we need to show that maybe not everyone's happy with Lucan's changes, so we need to have sort of a citizen that's maybe a little bit unhappy and work him into the quest somehow. And he actually became sort of like part of the main quest line because I guess I found his story very interesting and wrote a lot about that. So that was kind of neat to see. And Nathan's obviously chomping at the bit here.
Because there's a lot of good characters that we had in Freeport previously that maybe people had just touched upon, or they'd run by and they'd see, oh, that was a funny character I interacted with a little bit, but didn't get a lot of story with. And so now I know that I can't remember her name, but she thinks that she's Antonia.
Oh man, she's the supreme ruler of the universe.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name offhand, but she's, yes.
Yeah, so she's crazy. Back. As well as some characters that we thought were gone and that go all the way back to EQ. Some well-beloved characters with a lot of plot and some twists. And it's weird how those people can be in so many places at the same time.
You are You are so mysterious.
Okay. Now we're going to open it up to more player questions if you guys have any. So it looks like we just have one here right now. Bannerm asks, does Lucan still have Soulfire?
He's when you see him, he's definitely not wielding it. He's decided to. Lore-wise, man.
Yeah, no.
Oh, I guess he doesn't know.
No,
That's true.
no. The sword bearer still has it. Now, it doesn't have any power. Believe that was going to be covered with other quests outside of Freeport, going with the lore of Velius. But right now, no, he does not. He does have a sword that he's wielding. It's the sword, supposedly it's the sword that he had before he got soul fire.
He doesn't need Soulfire. He's awesome. And his new the sword that he's got now too is new art. And Lucan himself actually has received an update in his looks, and you'll get to see him in Freeport periodically. So that's really cool.
Okay. Sanosuke90 asks, can Kino citizens do Freeport quests?
Some of them? That's a tricky answer.
I guess some of them, the new quest lines, like the story quest lines through Freeport, unfortunately not. We will eventually be updating Kinos as well, so it'll get its moment in the sun. But for right now, yeah, if you want to do the main storyline quests, you definitely have to be an evil race.
Yeah, Jason's right. Yeah, evil faction. When I said some of them, I was thinking of those mini ones that might still be in the zone, but none of the actual path ones that we made. The archetype, the race ones, no, you have to be evil.
But go ahead and level up an evil character because these are really cool. You want to do them.
Okay. Last question. Mocker of shoes. There we go. Will the appearances of Freeport homes change?
So from what I know, the inside of most of the houses is the same, but the outdoor areas, the houses where you could go outside and see the outside of Freeport have definitely changed to reflect the changes to the city. When you go up on the balcony and look out, you will see the new city. Our artists worked very hard to get all that in to make sure everything matched up. So those definitely changed, but I don't think the insides are the same. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you guys so much for your time. We're going to move on to videos now after a small break. So stay tuned. We have a few more things coming up.
Hi, I'm Jason Warner, Fireflight, and I've been working on quest design and just the revamp in general of the new Freeport that we've been putting together. And we've created a number of new quests to go into it that will kind of lead you through some of the big changes that are happening. And we've tried to put some really cool new stuff, new mechanics, and just sort of new design beyond the standard quests. So if you'd like to look over here, this is actually a sneak peek at the end of one of the quests. I don't want to give everything away, but you'll probably recognize the boat instance, but now we've got a huge storm going on with it. There's a water spout in the background and a ship captain who is mysteriously dressed just like me. And there's a whole little event that goes on this boat. I can't show you all of it, although maybe I can show you one little sneak peek of me. No, I can't. Oh goodness. Okay, there it is. Yes, so now this ride was going along nicely until this knight steps out and wants to stop you. And I don't know if you can hear, but we've got musical cues and all sorts of things that happen in this. And the characters all speak and everything's it's a really cool, I can't wait for everybody to see all of it. It was really fun to design. So I'm really hoping that you guys enjoy playing all of these new quest lines that we've created and running through them and seeing all of the new stuff that we've put in. It's been really cool.
Hi, my name is Akil Hooper. I am lead game designer for EverQuest 2. I'm also known as Lindro on the forums, and I'm here to talk to you about Beast Lords and their warders a little bit today. So if we come over here, I'll give you a little introduction. So here I am, a little Karen Beast Lord, and I've got a warder summoned here. And Beast Lords and their warders have kind of a unique relationship. One of the things we put in for warders is a new warder window. So when you open up your character pane, if you go to warders, you'll get a little 3D view of your warder pet here. You'll be able to see the abilities that your warder can use, and then your warder's stats over here, which you can hide if you don't like them. And you can also specialize your warder. Starting at level 22 and every few levels afterwards, you'll get specialization points that you can spend to customize your warders. And here's the specialization tree for my Warbro warder here. And you can have up to 16 warders. And you see I've got a few different warders in here. And if I go to my feline warder, it'll change the view here. I'll get the abilities that my feline warder has. And I can modify the specialization points for my feline warder and spend points here. And as you go out and you find more warders in the world, so right now my feline warder is a tiger here, but if I wanted to switch my feline warder to a lion, I'd go out and I'd find a lion out in the world and I'd tame him, and all of my specialization points that I spent on my tiger would transfer over to my lion, but I'd be able to have a unique appearance of a lion. So you get to go out and kind of customize your appearance for the warder that you want to use, and you get to have up to 16 different warders, so you can have some good variety and specialize out their abilities based on what kind of situations you want to use them in. So yeah, that's a little bit about warders and Beast Lords and EverQuest 2. So I hope you enjoyed our little tidbits here, and I hope to see you in game next week.
Sony.
Hi, I'm Carlos Mora, Ninja on the forums. I'm here to show you a little bit about Mercenaries. Our upcoming expansion has several new features, and this is one of them. Let's take a look. So what we see here is 3 of our new Mercenaries. There are 10 total, including a couple rare ones that we'll talk about later. The first merc we'll look at is the Healer. So we'll go ahead and take a look at him and read through his dialogues a little bit, and he tells us a little bit about himself and brings up the hire menu. On the hiring menu, you can look at all the different spells that the healer can cast, as well as his hiring fee and his salary every 30 minutes. So we'll go ahead and hire him. He'll pop out and gear up, and we can go and take him out and use him in battle. Here we go, we're fighting. He's off behind. So as you can see, they're pretty powerful. Not overly powerful. We didn't want to make them too powerful because we wanted to make sure that the players were still wanted in groups. As you can see there, he just cast Verdict. He's an Inquisitor. So that's a little bit about the Helo Merc. There are other type of Mercs. We've got tanks, DPS, casters, a good mix. We also have a little bit more rare one, which I talked about earlier, which I'm going to show you now, one of them. So I'll go ahead and get rid of this guy and run over here and check out our rare merc. This one is a Billy doll. It's a unique model, and they're a lot harder to find out in the world, but once you get them, they're definitely worth it. So you bring up all of his spells and stuff. You can hire him, and there you go. You've got a new Billy doll. Now he will bring something unique to the group that most classes don't always get, but they all have unique little quirks that they bring to the group. But the ultra rare ones, they have something a bit more unique and a little more powerful. So that's pretty much it. That's Mercs. Hope you enjoy them. See you in the expansion.
Sony.